Yeah, how's everybody going tonight? Um, this video is actually just kind of something precursor to a very special video that I plan on putting up a little bit, maybe around midnight tonight Eastern Standard Time. So I was just googling. I was like, "What's my credit score?" Not credit score, my social credit score. I found some interesting stories. Of course, they're dated. Well, this one's not. February 1st, 2021. I don't like what I see. Come on, man. Uh, yeah, that's today, too. But the story come out November 4th, 2019, maybe. Dan Robitsky filed under hard science. Anyway, whatever all that crap is. In China, a formalized social credit score can determine whether you're allowed to take out loans or even use public transit. The system is often held up as a particularly dystopian application of big data analytics, and now it seems as though a similar thing is happening in the US. Turns out that a number of companies are aggregating mind boggling piles of financial records, internet activity, and other personal data, the New York Times reports, and using it to determine petty metrics like how long companies will make people wait on hold or whether we're allowed to make returns at a store. Now, behind the curtain, some of these companies give people the opportunity to take a look at whatever records they have on them, like Sift, which had accumulated over 400 pages of notes on the New York Times Kashmir Hill, ranging from Airbnb reviews to delivery orders. Technically, anyone can request their records by emailing privacy@sift.com, then filling out a form online. But the New York Times noted that some companies, like consumer tracking database Customer, refused to share data when repeatedly saying it would soon. These little known companies aren't new, but they're only just getting attention for their unsettling data projects, which can have a major behind the scenes impact on people's lives. Even now, companies like Sift might share the piles of records they've accumulated on you, but won't tell you how other companies are using it. Interesting, isn't it? Now, these are all older stories. Yeah, look, bits and pieces. August 27th, 2019. Report: America has a social credit system much like China's, but it was built by Silicon Valley and not by the government. In China, a three-digit number between 350 and 950 can determine whether a person's loan application is approved, whether they can travel outside the nation's borders, and even whether they're able to land a date for Friday night. That number is their social credit score, and they earn it through a system China began implementing in 2014. Under the social credit system, if a Chinese citizen does something authorities deem good, paying bills on time, for example, or donating blood regularly, their score might increase. Conversely, if they do something bad, such as criticize the government or walk their dog without a leash, their score might drop. Many Americans find the power of China's social credit system astonishing. But a newly published Fast Company story argues that people in the US are already beholden to a similar system. It's just established and enforced by private companies instead of the government. The magazine provides several examples to bolster their claim. Life insurance companies can now base a person's premiums on the content of their social media feeds, for example. Meanwhile, a company called PatronScan maintains a list of objectionable customers that bars and restaurants can use to exclude certain visitors. And that's nothing compared to larger platforms. Airbnb now has more than 6 million listings. So a ban from the app can dramatically impact a person's ability to find accommodations. And Airbnb can ban anyone it wants to. It doesn't even need to give them a good reason. Uber can also ban users, stifling their ability to travel, while a ban by WhatsApp or a similar service can negatively impact someone's ability to communicate with the rest of the world. According to Fast Company, the most disturbing aspect of the U.S.'s social credit system is that these punishments are all levied outside the official justice system. It is an alternative legal system where the accused have fewer rights, the outlet wrote, later adding that if current trends hold, it's possible that in the future a majority of misdemeanors and even some felonies will be punished not by Washington, D.C., but by Silicon Valley. And this is some of the stuff that leading up to big tech banning people and kicking them off their platforms for saying nothing, really. So corporate America runs America. Now you know who your bosses are. Whatever that crap is. How is your social credit score? What is the date on this one? Ali Fenwick, 3 years ago. See what I mean? All this back then, then they hurried up and shut up and no one hears nothing about it. A few weeks ago, I ordered an Uber to take me to London Airport. On the way, we got stuck in some heavy traffic and I happened to strike up an amazing conversation with my driver. When the driver dropped me off, he said, "I am giving you 5 stars, the highest ranking on Uber's passenger review system." Although I don't usually rank my Uber experiences, I reciprocated with 5 stars as I felt it had been a meaningful encounter, too. But it did get me thinking, how will I behave the next time I get into a situation in which I can be publicly ranked as a user based on my interactions and behaviors? And what are the consequences of my social score on the perceptions and behaviors of others towards me? Punishing the bad and rewarding the good, social scoring in the digital age. In today's interconnected digital world, social ranking systems are readily applied for various purposes and at various levels of society. Both the private and public sector are utilizing social ranking systems as a mechanism to engineer human behavior, creating a form of digitally induced social control. Although the benefits and attractiveness of review systems are widely cited in business, they raise some big questions. What are the long-term effects of their usage on society, and how else could social ranking systems be used to categorize or score people? For example, if a social scoring system is used to categorize citizens, what criteria should be used to rank people at a national level? What are the consequences of such a ranking on social interaction, resource allocation, and well-being? And finally, who operates or curates the system? This article will address the widespread usage of social ranking systems in our society and discuss the potential psychological and behavioral consequences. What are they and how are they being used? Social ranking systems have been around for as long as civilization itself, for better or for worse, as a way to categorize or highlight differences in social groups in the distant past. Social Scoring could be based on status, origin, resources, family ties, education, and even what people said about you. Not too long ago, financial credit firms were one of the first to use complex data streams to assess payment risk and provide loans to consumers based on their assessment. Interestingly, credit firms identified the benefit of using information about one's social network to assess risk. It seems that the people you associate with are a key indicator of your own behavior. Modern social ranking systems still use similar demographic and behavioral data. However, with the advent of the internet and online social networks, it's now possible to use various data sources and sophisticated techniques to determine one's position within a social system. This provides new ways of utilizing social ranking mechanisms in the online space, far beyond the realm of loan provisioning. Social media sites, mobile apps, hospitality providers, travel organizations, and other types of businesses readily use social ranking systems to help categorize products, services, and experiences. Online platforms like TripAdvisor and Booking.com allow customers to provide a review of the service they experienced, and these user-generated reviews act as a form of social validation and authority. Reviews not only affect the likability and demand of a service, but also impose a level of control over how service providers and customers should interact with each other, based on expected behaviors governing the system. Now we see the influencers all over YouTube, right? Influencer marketing. In today's social media ingrained society, the number of online connections or followers equates to online influence, reflecting one's reach, likability, and impact. Hey, now wouldn't that be funny if just a bunch of people decided they were going to follow and like me, and what would that impact be? Many consumer brands, hospitality providers, and media channels have recognized the power that influencers, someone with over 20,000 followers, which, shit, we get 20,000 followers, we might as well start ourselves a little church, have on specific target groups, e.g. fashion, travel, food. They also recognize the effect that influencer-based marketing has on the virility of commercial messages. With a little financial investment and clever targeting, you can generate high brand awareness quickly and organically, something that aligns well with search engine and social media algorithms. Reciprocating scoring systems. More recently, we are seeing the application of dual review ranking systems, or reciprocation scoring systems, as I call them. In a growing number of mobile applications, we are seeing RSS being used. Uber's dual ranking system allows not only for the passenger to rate the service quality and behavior of the driver, but also for the driver to rate the passenger. The purpose of RSS is to ensure that both parties conduct themselves in a mutually accepted manner. This allows for certain behaviors, which either go above and beyond those expected or are deemed unacceptable, to be flagged as a above or below average score. The benefit is that it gives the service provider an immediate voice, and therefore power in the exchange. Social credit systems. Besides businesses, governments, and public institutions have also shown a deep interest in the application of online social ranking systems. The purpose of social credit system is to socially engineer acceptable behaviors, promote good conduct, and control a society based on the norms and values governing its system. One country that is openly experimenting with social ranking on its citizens is China. China currently has a plan to launch a working social credit system by 2020 in order to rate more than 1 billion citizens and assess their trustworthiness. According to various media outlets, this social credit system evaluates citizen trustworthiness based on a complex combination of personal data, like demographics, online and offline behaviors, and social network. This means that if someone forgets to pay a fine, says something unacceptable online, buys a certain product, cheats on a state exam, leaves a bad review, or just mingles with the wrong type, it could negatively affect their social credit score and limit their access to specific public resources. Wow, man, I leave bad reviews all the time. I'm never going to be able to go anywhere. The Chinese government has been rolling out their online system for the past several years, collaborating with local tech giants and experimenting with different variations of its credit system to test its efficacy as a social control mechanism. Recently, the media has reported that China's social ranking system is already having an effect on society and that people living in China appreciate the implemented ranking system as they are noticing positive changes in public behavior. How's that virus working out, China? I kind of want to go back. What was that sound? Limit their access to specific public resources. Man, so of course Walmart's always get bad reviews. All those big box companies get bad reviews. They're terrible. Oh man, socially engineer acceptable behaviors. The pros and cons of social ranking systems. The usage of social ranking systems in today's highly sociable and interconnected world seems like the perfect mechanism to allow complex adaptive systems to function autonomously. What do the different social ranking systems mentioned above have in common? They all allow agents of the system to evaluate the qualities, experiences, and behaviors of others to distinguish between those who benefit the system and those who don't. Another commonality is the categorization of people and the effect categorization has on identity, popularity, power, and resource allocation. Finally, all these systems have a script in place that lays out the prescribed norms, values, and behaviors that govern the system. Algorithms, beliefs, and laws. However, one must wonder what the effects of social categorization are on social integration and how social ranking systems can affect behavior in the long run. Your network is your net worth. So basically, despite being a seemingly effective marketing strategy, what are the consequences of using influencer-based marketing techniques? Can the amount of Instagram followers or YouTube subscribers affect one's success in business and in life? Absolutely. In Rotterdam, for example, some prime real estate owners are using online platforms to decide who to rent their high-end property to. Excuse me. To be able to rent an A-class apartment in the city, I'm getting my stomach's turning. This stuff is scary. To be able to rent an A-class apartment in the city, you need to register online using an Instagram account. Preference is given to those who have a big online following. Marketing initiatives utilize such techniques aimed to increase awareness and attractiveness of their rentals and consequently boost the price of their property. Another example is influencer-based discount apps, which allow people to receive discounts on meals or products based on the amount of likes they can get within a restricted time period. These new marketing techniques help to promote brand awareness and online engagement, benefiting the technically savvy and those with a large online following. At the same time, they automatically restrict certain market segments from attaining equitable benefits. The downside of the low and the dark side of the high. Behavior is affected by the individual and his or her interaction with the environment. Therefore, social context has a very strong effect on how someone behaves. Ranking people low or high in a review system will ultimately affect how someone behaves due to self-perceptions, comparative standing, and interaction with others. The downside of a comparatively low or negative ranking is that finding opportunities to redeem yourself and improve your online social score becomes limited and takes considerable time and luck to improve. The situation can actually reinforce negative attitudes and behaviors. This can lead to rebellious behavior, isolation, de-individualization, and polarization. High or positive online social ratings might motivate people to behave differently too, forcing people to conform to socially desired standards and to only engage with people of similar or higher social standing. This limits social integration and widens the gap between those ranked below and those ranked high. Who is in control? All online social ranking systems are based on complex algorithms evaluating various types of data streams to assess position. The issue with online ranking systems is that their algorithms have been artificially designed. How they work is unknown to the public. This lack of transparency makes it hard to know who designed them, what criteria are being used, and how the algorithm computes these criteria. Moreover, algorithms can easily be manipulated. This has a direct impact on the functioning of the online system, placing considerable power in the hands of the developers or the code that governs its operations. If online social rankings will govern behavior at various levels of society to something the system. Who will curate the system? Oh, there's future in it. I don't want to keep reading. I'm scared now. Allie Fenwick. He thought that one out, dang. Don't get scared. Screw electricity. It's gonna go away anyway. Hey, y'all go with hope. Be cool.